Hi there. I am here with Eric Pepper, who is one of our foremost loan officers at Academy Mortgage, powered by Guild, that does renovation loans. I will say that renovation loans is maybe a term you haven't heard in a while, but as a real estate agent back in the day, I loved these, and I'm loving that Eric's going to share a little bit about this with us. So, Eric, you're doing a renovation loan for someone that closes in 4 hours up in Charlotte, right? Tell me, this blew my mind, you guys. Tell me a little bit about this transaction.
Well, the house, it was a complete tear down and rebuild, which FHA 203K allows for this under some guidelines.
Y'all heard that, right? It's a tear down. So not just you got to go in and put a little paint on or, maybe take a wall down. This is a tear down.
And then they are rebuilding a house. And the total loan amount was $479,000, of which $450,000 was the budget for this new house. The appraisal came in at over $940,000.
Wow, talk about equity. Talk about equity and instant equity. That's probably one of the things that I love. Okay, there's two things as to why I love renovation loans. One is you typically come out with some amazing equity. And two is you can make that house that you're looking for that doesn't exist, you can create it.
When you're going out home searching, and you're looking for that perfect house that it checks every box.
Yeah.
I've got a really bad set of news for you. That house doesn't exist.
It's hard to find at the price point, right? Because we all want it all. We want the perfect house at the perfect price at the perfect time.
In the perfect location.
Hard, right?
However, I've had more than one contractor say any house can be made perfect. You just got to tell us what you want. And that's the whole purpose of the renovation loan, is to take that house and make it your home.
Now, Eric and I were talking about this, and why I wanted him to come in and share this with you guys today is that I don't know if you knew you could really do a tear down and what the requirements are, but tell us a little bit about, do you have to keep that foundation? Do you have to leave one wall? Like, what do you have to do?
As far as the vertical structure, none of it has to be kept. The foundation, the technical is you have to be putting it on the same footprint. Now you can expand that footprint. You can make it, put a bigger house there than that previously existed. If you can use the same original foundation, fantastic. But oftentimes, especially if you're putting a bigger house on it, an engineer is going to tell you that foundation is not going to support it. And they end up tearing it out and putting a whole new foundation in there. And that is absolutely allowed.
In this house now, renovation loan is not for the faint of heart. And you definitely want partners in your circle doing this that know what they're talking about and that have done this. But 9 months to build this?
This one's probably going to be a 9 month to 12 month deal because you're building a brand new house. Yeah. Your typical reno loan is not anywhere near as complicated. It's something like we're redoing the kitchen, and it can be as little as we just want new appliances and new flooring and new countertops. Something that's going to probably end up costing $20,000 or less. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. So you're talking then 2 months, 3 months. You're not talking.
Typically on something like that,
yeah.
You close and then the work starts taking place and you're moving ready in 30 days.
Now, can you defer that payment since you're not moving in?
Well, glad you asked that. On a mortgage anyway, on the day you close, you go to the end of that month, you skip the next month. A renovation loan, if it is going to be a long-term project and you're not going to be able to live in the house, you can finance up to 6 of your mortgage payments into the loan as part of the reno budget.
So you can keep living where you are and not have 2 payments, right?
Not have a mortgage payment and a rent payment.
Right.
Now, it's optional. I would say it's probably about 50-50. I mean, I have some folks that say, no, we've been living in our parents' basement. it's free, we can handle that for 6 more months. Or it's, yeah, I'm renting and I can't afford the rent and that mortgage. So it's up to the buyer, borrower.
So one other thing that I wanted to share with you today is ADUs, right? So Atlanta has approved for you to be able to build an additional dwelling unit on your property, which is amazing. Actually, where I live, that's not allowed. But Atlanta has allowed this, and you can use renovation loan to do that, right?
Absolutely. Now, ADU, auxiliary dwelling unit, hey, I'm old time South. We call them granny suites, mother-in-law suites. Well,
Carriage house.
Carriage house, if you're really refined.
Right.
It can be attached, i.e. if you've got a basement that's not being used, you can convert that into living quarters. Or if the land is big enough, and hey, yeah, I mean, having a renter would be great, but I don't necessarily want them in my house, you can literally build a separate unit in the backyard, have it attached to its own utilities and sewage. And the beauty is, even though this hadn't been built yet, you don't have a tenant in there yet, but the appraiser will tell us how much is the fair rental value for that particular place. And for qualifying income purposes, which is real important when you're trying to get a loan,
Very important.
we can use 50% of that number as qualifying income in addition to what you make in your job.
Money, finding money, that's nice.
We've done several deals in Atlanta where there's no way these people could have afforded to buy a house. But and the crazy thing is they're adding $150,000 to the mortgage that they couldn't qualify for in the first place, but because we're able to use that rental income, they qualified and we closed.
How cool and creative, right? I love this. And I love that you know this stuff because, again, it's tricky and it's not for the faint of heart. But I've personally done it. I personally see it be a huge success. So I urge you to think about it. And if you want to find out more, call Eric because Eric is the guru on renovation loans. Look forward to talking to you another day. Thanks for your time today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Happy renovating. Bye.